Okay, I'm seeing from Bolu Atife. It's nice to meet you, Bolu. Okay, I'm still expecting more highs. We're not going to start until I see like 5 highs because we're about 10. We're 10 in this room, so I'm expecting like five highs. If you can hear me, just type hi in the chat section or in the comment section. Okay, Abigail, I can see you. Okay, I can see you. Please, can you pronounce your name? El Phinomius. Did I get it correctly? I doubt it. Okay, let's see what he said, whether I got it or not. Okay, I got it. Wow. I deserve some accolades. So I want to officially welcome everybody. Welcome, Peter. Welcome, Janet. It's so nice to have you guys here. I'm super, super excited, and I want to officially welcome you all to this wonderful event, this value packed and innovative event, which is making the most of your undergraduate years. I know that the first session was yesterday, and we got a lot of things and a lot of insights. And our first speaker was Mr. Emmanuel Faith. So I'd like someone in this place to just give me a summary of what you've learned or what you got or something that caught your attention in the last session. I would like to know. I'd like to share with me. You can unmute, you can chat, anyone is fine. I'm still expecting. Should I start calling names? Hey, I know you guys should have gotten some. Okay, let's start with how many of us were actually present on day one? How many of us were actually present yesterday? I would like to know. If you were present, type hi in the comment section. Let's start from there. Let's start from there. Okay, I'm seeing some highs. Okay, someone said, let me pronounce his name again. It's going to take me time, but I'll eventually get it. His name is El Pino Menos. Oh my God, this time around. I'm so sorry if I didn't get it. So he said he got to know
You
darkness.
tried, you tried.
I tried. Man,
Yeah.
pronounce it well so that I'll be able to pronounce it well subsequently.
El Phenomenos.
Okay, El Phenomenos. Oh my God, I feel so embarrassed. I can't pronounce it. Okay, now I'm glad to know that you got to know that networking is very, very important. So what have you started practicing the points you said from the networking? Have you started implementing the things that you learned here? Okay, while we're waiting for let's listen. I think Oluwani Femi wants to say something. Oluwani Femi, you have the floor. Okay. Okay, so he said that he has not started practicing. Why have you started practicing? Why have you started implementing the things that we learned? You know that people say knowledge is power, but it's not knowledge that is power. It's actually the application of knowledge. That means what you've learned from people, you actually start applying it. Because most time we are so fond of gathering knowledge all, and so we have like we feel that we just need to gather more knowledge. But as you are gathering knowledge, you're supposed to be implementing it. That is the only way that you can learn and grow exponentially. So health phenomenons, I would like you to actually start implementing these networking techniques that you've learned from yesterday's session. It's a work in progress. Nice, I like that. Cheers. So I'm still expecting. I think Nifemi wants to say something. Nifemi, you have the floor. Or who else wants to share what something they've learned yesterday? Something they learned yesterday. Who wants to share? I'm waiting on a response. We're not going to start until at least 50% of people here talk or share what they've learned. Should I start calling names? Even by call names. Should I start calling names? Ha. Okay, I'd like to call on Peter Olani. Peter Olani, your name sounds really fancy and I love it. So you have the floor. Peter Olani. Peter Olani, I await your response. Or anybody. See, thing is that let's not all be shy. This is actually a place where we are all learning. We all came to learn, definitely, because we are all undergraduates. We know that there are some areas in our life that has loopholes that we actually need to fill. So it's nice for you to share what you learned. That way you will not forget it. So I'll just like somebody here to just share, like challenge yourself that okay, in this Zoom meet, I'm going to talk. I'm going to share my experience. I'm going to share what I've learned, and I'm going to start implementing it. So let me hear someone. You guys should surprise me. Let somebody start talking now. Don't just share what they've learned from day one. Okay, if you can't share now, just type. I was okay. No, let's just type hello if you were around on day one. If you're around yesterday, just type hello in the comment section or the chat section. Okay, I can see Oluwani Femi. Thank you, thank you. Shout out to you, Oluwani Femi. I'm still expecting more hellos. Okay, I'm seeing for Ebmolua. Yes, I can see you. I can see you. I'm still expecting more. We're getting there. We can do
Hello,
better.
can you hear me? Good evening.
Okay, from Priscilla. Oh, I love that name. That name sounds classy.
Hello.
Okay, someone is talking finally. Okay, Peter Olani, finally, you have the floor, sir. I would like to know what you've learned or what you got, something that really struck you from what was shared yesterday. Peter, we cannot hear you.
Okay.
Looks like the network is bad. If you can just either move to a place that has a better network or
Um, Actually, network
increase the tempo.
very
Hello, hey, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Peter, you have the floor. Victoria, you say something. I can't hear you.
Okay. Hello.
I can hear you. I can hear you, Victoria. Or who is
Hello, good evening, everybody.
Okay, so we have our speaker. So before we start, someone was Nifemi wanted to share what he learned from the previous session, right, Nifemi?
Yes.
Okay, so you have the floor. You have the floor, ma'am.
Okay. I learned that as undergraduates we should we should try and fail and try again. We should not be afraid of trying again. Like we should try as many opportunities. We should own our skills. I mean, HONE our skills. And we should network with people. We should find a need and like a need in your environment and try to feel it and that you should try a lot of things. It is not everybody that is business. You can try several 9 to 5s. You can try your hands on businesses. You can just do a lot of things. And also I learned that we should connect with people that are our colleagues, like maybe senior colleagues, people that are in our common our when communicating with people, we should gain a common ground.
Yes, that's very important. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. From all the things that I've said, I think one thing that really stood out for me was the failure part. You know that most of us are actually scared, or most young people in their 20s, they're actually scared of trying new things. And it's something that actually affects me sometimes. I'm actually scared of trying new things because I'm scared of, oh, what will people think of me if I do this? But as if you actually want to make headway as undergraduates, you're supposed to take the bull by the horn and shame fear in the face. So that's very good. Another thing that we should learn, like you said, is networking. Networking is very important. It cannot be overemphasized because, and the only way you can network well with people is when you find common ground, like Nifemi said. Common ground is very important to facilitate the success of the conversation. So thank you so much for sharing, Nifemi. Thank you so much. So I remember
Okay.
that I actually did not introduce myself. Yes, so I am Tenacious Precious, and I'm a 300 level student of Human Nutrition and Dietetics, University of Ibadan. And I'm also very passionate about helping people communicate effectively, assertively, and authentically so they can build trust, connect better with people, and stand out in conversations. And I do this through my YouTube channel because I have one, so you can follow me, Tenacious Precious. So I'm super excited because we have our guest in the house already. And I'm sure that you're excited. If you're excited, put in the comment section that I am excited. Let me see a lot of excitement. I am excited. I want to see it in the comment section. Okay, I'm seeing, yeah, I love you, Onyeka. Onyekachi. I just love the whole exclamation marks you put. So let's see. Okay, I'm liking the energy. I'm liking the energy. Wow. Oh, thank you so much for loving my energy. Thank you so much. Okay, let me see more. I am excited. If not, I will not tell. The speaker has a lot of things to share. The speaker is ready. And if I don't see many, I am excited. I'll just say that, sir, please, it's only me that want to tap from your wealth of knowledge. Okay, Abigail.
I'm in a meeting, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm seeing all of I am excited. Yes, okay. Woo! Victoria, I can see you. Brian, I can see you. Abigail, I can see you. Okay, I think I've got the number of I am excited. So I'd like to welcome to you our second speaker, our first speaker for today's session, person of Mr. Oluwaseun Joshua Ayosola, and is commonly known as Sage. You must know him on Twitter, very popular personality. So I'm going to read his citation. You know, this type of citation that you can, as you're reading it, you're like, oh my God, what am I doing in my life? Am I sleeping? Because the kind of things that are here, I don't know, it's very. So Oluwaseun Joshua is the founder of Commercially Aware and an associate in banking and finance team of Aluko and Oyebode, a full-service commercial law firm in Lagos. He led the team that represented West Africa at the fourth international negotiation competition at New Delhi, India in September 2017. In October the same year, he was the only Nigerian delegate at the American Bar Association International Law Weekend in New York. In 2019, he was an oralist at the John Jackson Mott in Nairobi, Kenya. For his work at Commercially Aware and his passion for giving back value, Sage has been recognized as one of the top 21 new establishments of 2019 by Y Naija. And in November 2020, it was nominated for the Future African Award Prize for Lawyers. Sage graduated top of his class at Obafemi Awolowo University with a first-class degree in law and received the Justice Kayode Esho's first prize for professional ethics and skills at the Nigeria Law School. Before joining A&O, he had gained graduate internship at KPMG, PwC, AFC, RMB, to mention but a few. In his spare time, he enjoys mentoring and volunteering. Allow me to introduce our speaker for today's event, the person of Mr. Oluwaseun Joshua. You have the floor. So let me see some claps in the comment section because I know that we saw a lot of foreign countries. We saw Kenya, we saw New York, we saw how many awards he got. We saw that it's actually a first class graduate. So let's give it up for our speaker. Yeah, I'm seeing some claps. Okay. Mr. Oluwaseun, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, you're very kind, I must say. Precious, am I correct?
Yes, sir, you're very correct, sir.
Oh, okay. So, and I agree with that person who said that they love your energy, and I actually also do. I think that you're a great host and that you should definitely keep this up. So, yeah. And my profile, when you were reading that to me, I was like transfer. I'm like, who's she talking about? But because I like to say that the first thing that you must realize is in order to keep winning, you must forget that you ever won. So, achievements are achievements because they are great deeds from the past. So the moment you achieve them, they immediately become past deeds. And then you have to like focus on like new goals. So I am always trying to create. My work takes a bit of my time. I mean, I'm close to know that I am always on my feet. I'm always trying to do something new, something great. I think it was on Saturday, I uploaded my first video on YouTube where I, still create content around career development and so on. I mean, that's a new journey. So if you haven't seen or checked out like my first post on YouTube, which is the top 10 myths and facts of working at a top law firm in Nigeria. So you should definitely check that out. So yeah, I mean, one of the favorite things that I love to talk about is making the most of your time in school. So first thing, 5 years for those who came in through JAM or 4 years for those who came in through direct entry. I mean, it looks like such a short time, such finite time, but so many infinite opportunities, are compressed into such short, limited period, right? I mean, if there is any wish, that I have today, I wish I could go back and relive my experiences as a student, because I know with all the things that I know now, I'll probably even do more than those very ordinary things that you just read out of my profile, because, I mean, as impressive as they may look, I didn't become woke, like they say, until my final year in the university. So most of those things, most of my internships were after I had graduated from Obafemi Law University. The first time I got on an aeroplane was in my final year, the first international competition. So you can imagine if you're on this call and you're just in your 100 level or 200, and you know, have the privilege or the opportunity to hear all of the things I'm going to share, meaning that if you are so determined as I was in my final year, by the time you get to your final year, you would have achieved, if not triple or quadruple the number of things that I have on my profile. So very important. I like to say that the world that we live in today is not ruled by the most intelligent, but by the most informed. I'll say that again. So we live in a world that isn't ruled by the most intelligent, or not necessarily by the most intelligent, but by the most informed, right? If you can hear me, just type something in the chat section and tell me that you can hear me, right? Let's go. Great. Awesome. So, all right, amazing. So, there is definitely so much. I was in a meeting and I wasn't able to join the first session, but I certainly can tell that it was fantastic. Yes, personal branding, amazing stuff. But here's where I will start from, right? So I'm going to address those of you at different levels of your undergraduate studies. So if you're in your 100 or 200 level, I am most excited for you. In fact, congratulations, because you are what Aristotle calls like a tabula rasa. It means like you're a clean slate and, like a very fine canvas that nothing, and you can create magic on that canvas. So if you're on your 100 level or 200, I'm particularly excited for you. So what are the things that you should do? I wouldn't prescribe anything in particular for any of you, right? Because we all have like different journeys, and so we all have different journeys. So I wouldn't tell you that, oh, this is the way, the truth and the life, and if you don't go by this way, then you are doomed forever, right? So it is certainly just values, systems, certain things that when you put into anything that you're doing, whether you're on a first class or you are on a third class, if you apply these principles as an undergraduate, you're going to excel, because what determines success, right, is not limited to, academic excellence, right? It is just defined by excellence. So it's not really, oh, I have to have a first class before I become a successful. So for instance, let me give you an example. One of the most celebrated lawyers in Nigeria is Fauzi's dad, if you know him, Femi Falana, graduated from Obafemi Law University with a third class. So really, it is excellence, right, that distinguishes a person. Now, I'm going to go back a little bit. So if your goal, right, is to become a professor at Oxford, if your dream is to become a professor at Oxford University, right, then you have to immediately think about the things that will be required. So let me make it very clear that nearly any of us can achieve great things. While it will take some people little or no efforts, it will take some other people, more time, more efforts to achieve them. So if Dangote's daughter, for instance, wanted to organize a conference where Femi Otedola should attend, Dangote himself, and maybe Bukwa Oshika and some other very important figures. Now, she can give herself a week's timeline to organize such a conference. Why? She has access to all the resources. Her dad can just put a call through to all these friends of the family, and they can all show up at Ife in 1 week. Now, does that mean that any of you on this call cannot organize a conference where Dangote, Femi Otedola, Ibukun Awosika would attend? The answer is actually no. Like, you can organize such a fantastic conference, but it will take you a much longer time if you're being realistic. So what it means is that if you wanted a conference that big, instead of giving yourself a week, you probably will give yourself 1 year. So in the first few months, you want to put out the right kind of, ads. You want to write the best kind of letters. You want to start tweeting at these guys, Dango, Femi Otedola, saying that, that we recognize that, that you're one of the alumni or great alumni of the university, and we're organizing, a conference for entrepreneurs, and would like for you to attend, blah, blah, blah. And then you start to think about other creative ways. Maybe your friends to the Femi Otedola's executive assistant. So a lot more efforts would go into your planning that conference. But what it tells you is that it is achievable, but you cannot, unlike Dangote's daughter, achieve those things in a week. So if you also, and it applies to every other thing in life. So if you want to go to Oxford, for instance, you cannot wake up in 500 level to then go to Oxford's website and then check what are the requirements to get into Oxford, only for you to now realize that Oxford requires that from your 100 level, you ought to have been in the debate committee. You are in 500, now it is too late. Or you then realize that, Oxford requires that I am like I play a sport, whether football or tennis, and then you realize you're in 500 level. You believe that it is too late. Or Oxford requires that you should have like the best of grades, maybe even a perfect CGPA. It is in 500 level that you're just checking what are the requirements, right, to join. Now, can you see the difference between yourself? And I love institutions like that, because even Dangote's daughter cannot use money to enter into Oxford if she doesn't have any of these, requirements. So if you want to achieve great success, right, for somebody who takes their life seriously, whose mic is unmuted, please, can that person mute their mic? Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. So if you then realize how much it would take you, right, can somebody mute that mic, please? Can I go on, please?
Yes, I can go on. Chris, please, can you mute him? Techno F1.
Thanks. Okay. So the moment you then realize that it should just take you a little bit longer, so it applies across board. So if there is anybody here, what is it? What is the greatest ambition? So you want to be UN Secretary General someday. Right now, from your 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, you need to go on the website or just do a Google search, what it takes to be the Secretary General of the UN. Now, when any university in Nigeria is organizing a model United Nations conference, those are the kind of places you want to be, right? You want to attend those conferences. You want to be a standing delegate. You want to win delegate awards so that you start to build that track record. By the time it gets to, when the time comes for you to then apply, into graduate school, apply for a job, it feels as though you were born for it, because you've been preparing for something that you will do in 5 years, way earlier, maybe even 10 years earlier than the time. So if you're on this call and you have a very big dream, right? Hello? So you're on this call and you have a very big dream, is to really write out all of the things that are required, somewhere that you can wake up to see it every day. And then you just list out the things that are required to get into one, maybe Oxford or Harvard, or the things that you require to get into Google. What do you require to get into Amazon? Just really amazing stuff from your 100 level, and then you can write out. So each of those things, you just start ticking off the list. So if you need to get to play sports, that's exactly what you're doing. If you need to get good grades, that's exactly what you're doing. If you need to learn a foreign language, exactly what you're doing. So you would have ample time to prepare ahead of time for any of those opportunities, right? Now that is one. So that's like the easiest way. So you see, the reason why that is so important is that it makes your goals very easy to achieve, because you just walk into them. And by the time you start to tick off those little things on your list, it is much easier then than when you're rushing, towards like the finish line. Is way easier for you to achieve. Now, the other thing, I remember one time I had shared, 10 things that I wish I did as an undergraduate. Now, number one, I do not know, what any of you want to, be when you grow up, right? But if it has to do with working in a corporate setting, right? Either being CEO or eventually maybe going for graduate school, the best way to be an expert on any subject is to actually write about it. So people get more recognition, because writing, this event, for instance, is being recorded. Only those who have access to the recording would actually, see or listen to the things I have to say. But if this were an article that I put on maybe on Medium, if you Googled, making the most of my undergraduate days by Oluwaseun Ayanshola, it will immediately come up on Google. But recordings, conversations may not come up unless maybe it's on YouTube, right? But when you write about subjects, the internet takes a permanent record of it. So the easiest way to become an expert on any subject is not by talking about it, it's actually by writing about it. So if you are a law student, or you are an accounting student, or in any discipline at all, right? Just realize that if you have an interest in a particular field or sector, you should start, maybe even if it's just a short LinkedIn post, or maybe an article that is related to that field, you can share that article on your LinkedIn page, right? So the moment you start to do those things, you're immediately going to be remembered, right, for that particular aspect of whether law or accounting or anything else. So, and again, many of you must have, as part of your continuous assessment, you must have been asked to write on a new topic, a fresh topic. If you didn't dub anybody, you wrote something original and submitted. Now, those assignments, CAs, right? I said that you should develop it into an article for publication. So if the mistake that I made when I was in uni is that all of those assignments, some of them were handwritten, some of them were typed, but then they were printed and submitted to the lecturer. So I do not have records of them. So if you are in school right now any of those assignments or CAs that you write, responding to the lecturer's question, you should actually maybe send it to Gmail, because those articles or those assignments can be developed into actual publication that can be, published on very recognized journals. So keep a record of your original assignment. Emphasis on original, not copy and paste assignment. So original ones that can actually be developed into, actual articles. Then the second thing that I said here is that, one of the things that I wish I did when I was in uni is that I wish that I applied to, my professors as a research assistant. Now, one of the things that would make your journey to graduate school or to get a job very easy, right, is if you worked with a lecturer, a very recognized professor, as a research assistant. Now, guess what? Those professors, it is not a thing in Nigeria. So when you walk up to a lecturer and say, sir, I'd like to, or you actually write an application letter to be their research assistant, you can send it to about 3 or 4 professors or doctors in your faculty and ask any one of them if you can be their research assistant. And they actually agree. And you start to help them to do little research. Or even when you have shown or demonstrated excellence, they can ask that you co-author, a paper with them. Now, if you are able to take advantage of that as an undergraduate, there is no stopping you, because it shows it is like a very easy way to give a stamp of credibility to your research abilities. So if you're a very smart person who is able to walk up to a lecturer or write an application letter to them and they actually accept you to be their research assistant, that is an amazing opportunity, or one of the things that I wish I did as an undergraduate. Now, the third thing is that you should start to develop that drive for international opportunities and international competitions, right? So I often say that if you cannot dream big, then don't bother dreaming at all. Because for everything you want to do, always start with a very amazing, surreal idea. So for instance, if you want to organize a conference, first, organize it as though you want the entire world to attend it. Now, when your planning is for a global conference, the least is going to be will be a national one. So it's usually good when you set unrealistic goals, because by the time you're unable to achieve that, because of the kind of planning that went into that unrealistic goal, you'll be able to achieve something that is realistic, but it's going to be fantastic to people who did not know that your plan was to invite Obasanjo, but because that was the plan, right? It then allows you to achieve something that is realistic, but extremely amazing, because people cannot even fathom. So that's the way to dream about things. So when you're starting a club, start a club that you want the entire world to know about. Now, when that is your approach to anything in life, if you want to be the best student in the world, your planning, your reading, your research skills is not going to be ordinary, because you know that your competition is not those who are in your immediate environment, but all the best students around the world. So you want to consume anything and everything. So that's the mindset. So if you want to be the best rapper, the best singer, the best artist, the best accountant, the best engineer in the world, the kind of things you want to consume, the kind of things you want to read, the kind of articles you want to put out, you will make it so, of a nature that is of the best quality. Now, guess what? If you don't end up being the best engineer in the world, at least you'll be the best engineer in Nigeria. That is how to think about anything. So that is like the way to approach any event, any article, any subject, anything at all you want to do in life, right? So about developing that drive. So how do you develop the drive for international competitions? You need to start using your data wisely. Everybody on this call should be able to afford at least 1,000 Naira data every month. So question is, how have you been using your data? I don't know if you have heard the fact that data is the new gold. So if you have data right now, information, that's what it means. If you have information, you're able to achieve things that even more intelligent people may not be able to achieve just because you knew about it. You applied for it and they selected you and you were the best among those who applied, right? And it doesn't mean that if other more qualified people applied, you would have gotten it. But guess what? You were informed. You got the opportunity, and who cares? So you need to then actively, go after information. Don't let information come to you. You need to be proactive about mining data. You need to go on, set a reminder every day, maybe by 9 or by 8. I don't know what time is convenient, either in the morning or in the night, either before you go to bed or the first thing you do when you wake up, that Google new opportunities for students in Africa, right? There is a website that should be your new social media. The website is called Opportunities, and I need somebody to help me type it in the chat, opportuniesforafricans.com. So if you go on that website, opportuniesforafricans.com, you will see all kinds of opportunities, international opportunities, right? Which contain competition. So if you're just a writer, you don't like schoolwork, but you know how to write creative fiction, novels, short stories. There are so many competitions on this website, or maybe you're just like a non-profit person who is always thinking about like a new idea that can solve a problem in your local community. So maybe you go to school in Agoiwoye in like Ogun State, and you have like an idea that can solve a local community problem. You can think about that idea, put into writing, do like a PowerPoint, and apply for any of these grants. Before you know it, you get a grant about over $1,000, and you're already playing at that international stage. Guess what? Once you start playing at that international space as a student, there will be no going back. I mean, if as a student I already went to New York, I went to maybe New Delhi and Nairobi, there is no way I would want to ever be a local champion. That's just the way the world is. It is after that point, up is the only way to go, because you would have gained exposure to certain things that you just feel like, I can never be poor in this life. It is so inspiring. Like, in fact, just playing at that space or applying, writing a competition, an international competition, and coming second alone is such a morale booster. Oh, you don't know how this thing is. It bolsters your self-esteem so much that you're like, so you mean people from all over the world applied for this and I came second, or I won, or I came third? I beat all these when you put to it. Like, you just start to feel like a Superman and start to feel like there is no way, you wouldn't put your, so you want to start. So, and it is so easy to play at that space. All it takes is for you to just go on the internet. Now, let me give you another example, right? When I became the president of International Law Student Association, it was when I felt like, I needed to start thinking about programs for my members or for the members. So started Googling a lot, only for me to find out that there were opportunities that I was qualified for in 100 level, 200 level, but I didn't apply for them because I wasn't informed. I didn't make it a habit to always Google opportunities. So if you're on this call, if you don't take anything away, make it a habit to Google opportunities. One day, the one that is for you, God will bring it your way. You will just keep Googling opportunities for it, and then you keep applying. Guess what? There are some opportunities that I applied for. I know that I will not get it. But by applying, it forces me to think, of ideas. How can I win this? Because I have applied for so many of them. By the time the one that God has prepared for me comes, I am not going to be applying as a novice. I'll be applying as an experienced applicant, because I don't to apply, I don't fail. So I already know that this time I did it this way, it didn't work. Maybe I should try more. I should do this. But it is then something that is packaged for you. That is the first time you're throwing in an application, and you're going to be making so many stupid errors because you have not been applying. So you need to start applying. Whether or not you will get, just apply away. Just apply for anything and everything. Before you know it, you will start to get opportunities. So you wonder how you go on LinkedIn. Today, this one is saying they are congratulating somebody. Wow, I got into McKinsey's something fellow. And you are wondering that, Baba God, am I not your daughter? Or am I not your son? But you are not applying. I mean, if you went to ask those people how many, that is probably their 27th application that they just go, or maybe 107. Do you understand? So people always celebrate, achievements, but they don't tell you how many times they failed before putting out that one LinkedIn post. So you are going to enter depression because of one, achievement, or one that just clicked after they failed for another 107 times. That is the only one they've told you. That's the only part of story that you're aware of. So let me just quickly move on. So I think that was like number 3. Number 4, you need to know that one, international internships. Already everybody is playing locally. You are applying to everybody and everybody. People already get. Why not try? Whether or not you get it, just apply for apply to Google. Just test them. Go and look for HR website at Google and just tell a very fantastic story how there are so many talented people in Nigeria, but they don't have access to this and that this Google internship, will give you the required knowledge so that you can then take that knowledge and teach other young children how to code, blah, blah, blah. Just tell a very interesting story. Sell yourself, right? Guess what? There might be other people that are more qualified for that Google role, but you are the only one who is telling Google your story. And Google will be like, wow, this person from Africa. And then they will just pick you. Just like that. In fact, go and look for, organizations that do not have presence. Like people, Google is already doing a lot in Africa. Start to think about maybe Amazon. Amazon isn't doing much in Africa, right? There's so much strife. Just go and look. When you start to read, start to Google things, things will just start springing up. You become more aware and you start to see more opportunities. But you can't find what you're not seeking for. Very simple. So then you go, if you are very entrepreneurial, start a business. Can be a small, and business, it doesn't have to be buying and selling. It could be a service. So if you know how to teach, render that service. If you know how to write, you can write for people. If you know how to sing or whatever, you can make voiceovers. You just start to think about, something you're good at, people have commended you. Why not, monetize it and start to make money right from the time you're in your undergrad? I practically sponsored myself through school because during every summer, I just went back and taught Unilag diploma, UTME, GCA classes and everything. And by the time I'm going back to school, I'm going back with a lot of money. So if you're able to start a business or render services, please do. You're going to make the most of it. There, of course, I know the last speaker spoke about personal branding, extremely important. Now, how do you build a brand? Brand building can be summarized or compressed into one word or one idea. It's called intentionality. So you have to be intentional. So if you want to be remembered for something, you see some people, they dress a particular way. It's branding. It's that you want something that is a very sharp identifier, that whenever you think about Precious or about Pascal, what comes to mind? If nothing comes to mind immediately, then you don't have a personal brand. If I think about my friend Anioti, what comes to mind is fashion law. If I think about, Sage, I think about, career development or fintech, banking and finance lawyer. You need a personal brand, something that whenever people think about you, what is the first thing that comes to mind? If nothing comes to mind when people think about you in like the first 10 seconds, then you don't have a personal brand. So you need to be intentional. Intentionality is what defines personal branding. So if you are able to get a fine jotter or diary, like fine notes that you can carry everywhere, and you can even hold when you're wearing like a kaftan or a suit, something very nice, and just make it like your idea notes part. So when you see these opportunities, when you see any of these things, just immediately start scribbling them down, start taking note of those things so that you will, go back to them. So if you don't apply, maybe by the time you found out about that scholarship or that opportunity this year, the application closed in March, right? And you're just finding out about it in June. But when you write it down in your idea notes part, what it means is that next year or before March, I need to apply for this thing. Now, between now and next year, you go and sleep. No, you start to Google, what do I need? What are the criteria? What do they say that I must have? Now, so that I don't start to do it a month before that time, so that they'll be like, this one, because she wanted to apply. That's why she started going to, public schools in Ogun State to teach them. They will look like, this person is a very shady, dishonest person. But if you found out this year and you know that next year you will apply, from now you start to do all the things that they said you must have. You do it for a full year and then apply. It makes it easier for you, right? So then the next thing, if you're able to, while you're an undergraduate, learn if foreign language, learn a foreign language. So if it's or even Mandarin, just learn a foreign language. Lawyers, basically, you're a lawyer on this call, there is a tendency for you to want to, keep mainly law friends. I think I would advise you to please, try as much as possible to, speak to people or try and make friends outside of your faculty, because the way the market is structured, your future clients are not going to be fellow lawyers. I mean, fellow lawyers, they're also looking for their daily bread. Your future clients will be your friends who are in, engineering, who are going to be the next Mark Zuckerberg and the next, Bill Gates. They're going to start like a company. They're going to, create like an idea. So all these other people that is how to build a very strong network. So you need to network outside of your faculty. So, last thing is for you to please have fun. Don't let it not all be about, reading, writing articles, blah, blah, blah. That's the final thing. Make sure to not be that boring guy that is always so judgmental. When people are going for parties, you are looking at them that, oh, look at this one, they're wasting their lives away. The truth is, people always like somebody who is a great blend of all of these things. So you're more approachable. The people who are the most unserious people today can become CEOs, maybe because their father owns a company tomorrow, and you don't want to be that person who was always judging them. And now you are in their office, looking for, an opportunity. So you want to be as open as possible. So amazing. I think that is where I'm going to round it off. If you have any questions, please let me know. Just put it in the chat and then I'll respond to your questions.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir, for this mind-blowing session. I must say, you really broke some tables, especially the last point you said, that we should not be boring. Because we have the tendency of, I want to give up that serious vibe. It's just books I came to do in school and everything. You broke some tables. So one thing that really, really stood out for me from all the things you said was that we live in a world that is ruled by those that are informed and not the intelligent people. When you said that, I was like, it really stood out for me. So thank you very much, sir. So now back to the audience. If you have any questions, this is your time to ask questions so you can receive personalized and specific answer just for you. So if you have questions, just drop them in the comment section. Let's know. Okay. Wow. So we love you. We can see the love in the comment section. We all love you, sir. So, so anybody has any question? Okay, if there's no question, so I'll go first. Yes, so my question is, you said a lot of things. You said you should do other things, apply as a research assistant, try to look for opportunities, do things on a global scale. But so how are you able to, how were you able to merge your academics and this extracurricular activities? So I feel like this is one thing that young people struggle with a whole lot. And the fact that you came out with first class is so commendable. So share us your secret, share your secret, let us know what to do.
Yeah. So I mean, thank you for that. That's a brilliant question, I must say. So my strategy while I was in the university was to always strike a balance between my extracurricular activities and my um, my personal work, right? I mean that's schoolwork. So what I used to do was, because my parents, and I'm sure like many of yours as well, really do not care about note and mock and all these other extracurricular activities. They just want you to go to school and do well. So what I then did was to make sure, I mean, most of us are on serious in the first 4 weeks, 6 weeks of university. So what do I do? I mean, it's I take advantage of those of those first few weeks. So by one, that is the period when I go for all the debates. I try to do all these other things, right? So by doing all these other extracurricular activities in the first few, so by the time everything starts to intensify, then I stop. I mean, there is no amount of convincing you can do that will make me go for a moot and mock outside of Ife a week to exams or something, like, or anything that would materially impact or affect my performance in an exam. So I always took that very seriously. Then again, don't be an anything goes guy or lady or girl. You need to be intentional about the things you want to participate in. So don't join all the clubs. You are in IP, you are in tax, you are in this. Just pick 3 or 4. I mean, I wouldn't say you should pick one because you may not even be sure what exactly you want to do eventually. But seeing from your interest and personality, so if you're somebody who likes to help people, who likes to do, non-profit work, so you need to do things along that international law, international, trade line. So you can join International Law Student Association. If you like music, that is basically intellectual property. You can join the IP club. Just find something that gives expression to your personality that makes you. So once you join those specific things, then you can then start to mine them for, so you then start to mine those specific things for opportunities that even people before you in previous sets didn't think about. So you can go and look for opportunities for those specific things. And then before you know it, you will just eat gold. I mean, it wouldn't happen like suddenly, but eventually you eat gold.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for answering that question. Thank you so much. I'm going to start implementing all these things that we shared. Thank you so much, sir. So let me read the other questions. We have about 3 questions in the comment section. And the person says, are you saying that we should find international, are you saying we will find international internship opportunities locally and internationally on that website? That is opportunitiesforafricans.com. That's what he's asking. Mohammed is asking that question.
Okay. Let me take all the questions. So I can see all the questions in the chat. So I'll just go on. So the first one, on that website, there are some opportunities, but remember that I have only just given you, so don't follow the website slavishly. Like the what I have said is make it a habit to be an information monger. So just go on Google and just start Googling opportunities for, African law students. Make it personalize the search, opportunities for accountants or something. Just that website is one. There are so many that even I haven't discovered. Some of you may even discover some places where even I wish that I knew about when I was in uni. So just keep going out, looking for those opportunities. So for internships, there's so many, depending on, I can only speak for law students. So for law students, if you go on LinkedIn, there is a page called Inside Shepherd. They have like opportunities, virtual internship opportunities with law firms in the UK. Inside Shepherd, I don't know if anybody can type that. Inside, and Shepherd is spelled SHERPA. So Inside Sherpa, you can follow them on LinkedIn. They definitely have, their opportunities in there for you, right? There are other ones. There are other ones that you would find. So for instance, you would find, no, not .com, just Inside Sherpa is a page on LinkedIn. Just follow them, Inside Sherpa on LinkedIn. So there's so many. So you can also, when you are in a particular field, right? Maybe you're an accountant. You want to start Googling things like top 4 accounting firms in Nigeria. Then go to their website and see if there are any opportunities on their page. Follow the people who work at those at those companies. Network with them and ask her that I would like to volunteer. I mean, can I do research for you? And by the time you start building relationship, they will tell you that, oh, this very smart and hardworking person, that, oh, my firm is now taking interns. Send me your CV. So there is no one way to get these opportunities. It can be by networking, it can be by direct application, it can be by cold mailing. Cold mailing means that you just go on the website, get the emails of any of their partners, and send an email, a very well composed email to the partner saying that, oh, my name is this, I am on this GP, and I am interested in this, which is one of the areas that your firm is most vast or most recognized for. And I think I would be able to learn as much as possible from you and blah, blah, blah. And I have attached a copy of my CV that I look forward to hearing from you and everything. So you can just apply whether or not they're calling for intern. So again, you need to look for. So if you're a law student, go and follow me on Twitter at OJ. So OJ Ayanshola is my handle on Twitter. So my pinned tweet has all the law firms in Nigeria, firms in Nigeria, and their HR emails. So you can follow, you can check that out, and then you see it. So just check that out. So that's my handle on Twitter. So by the time you check it out, you see all the HR emails for top law firms in Nigeria. So you can start sending your CVs out, and then you may get those opportunities. So you can, for international ones, I already gave you Inside Shopper there. Other more specific, are there any other questions to do so well in your academics? I mean, this person, by the grace of God, I graduated with a first class and top of my class. But like I said, how I was able to balance it was by making sure whenever work intensified in school, I didn't do any other extracurricular. I just read my books. So, but in the first few weeks, even the most serious people in class always still, if you used to go to the library and read for 8 hours, when school just resumed, everybody just reads for an hour or two. We're all still freestyling. So you can take advantage of that period when we are all on serious to do extracurricular activities, to write the articles, to write your essays and everything. And by the time work intensifies, you can do it. Legal profession, can you say legal is lucrative, at least high volume or blah, blah, blah? I mean, legal profession, is just, it gets lucrative, but it takes time, right? it can be lucrative for some people immediately at the beginning. So for instance, those who are working in fintech, who are working in corporate commercial, but for the litigation guys, it may not be immediate, it may not be lucrative immediately. So you need to work, for some time before you finally, start to make huge money. But the thing to distinguish yourself, you need to start thinking about other skills that will make you flexible to be able to easily move away. So stop thinking about just you are a law student, then you have to work in a law firm. You are a law student, if you start to read about how to, read financial statements, how to do small calculation and everything, you can immediately start to apply for internship at maybe McKinsey or Bank of America or Goldman Sachs. Just start to think about all these opportunities just because you've added an additional skill. So your degree these days is not in any way limiting that once you have read a particular course, you can't do something else. If you read a particular course and you know tax, you can work at PwC, KPMG, Deloitte. These are big brands. Just by adding, if you knew how to design, graphic designing, you can work at any organization. The fact that you're a lawyer would also be an added advantage. So the other thing you need to pay attention to is to always, right, just think about something to stand you out as a candidate, right? And that is always one, you're able to speak 2 languages. So if you wanted to work with a General Electric or any other multinational, they would always ask for an additional language skill. And as an undergraduate, part of making the most of undergraduate school, because when you start to work, I'm still here, I've been receiving calls, help me do this, the research, you get on this, blah, blah, blah. I leave this call now, I need to continue working. So what time do I have to go to language school? I probably, if we're working from the office, I leave the office by 1 in the morning sometimes. So I wonder what I did as an undergraduate, because I felt like I didn't know that I had so much time. I thought like that was the worst thing that could ever happen to me, going to university. But that is it is so, in fact, that's the easiest part of your life compared to the things that are still coming, the crazy work hours that you have to do. Working anywhere, provided that you're a top professional, whether you're working in investment banking, you heard about how Goldman Sachs, associates were crying and they felt like they have like the worst work culture. So it's not even better abroad. If you work in certain organizations, investment banks, or you work in consulting, or you work in top law firm, Magic Circle, the hours you work, are crazy. Except that abroad, they pay you for overtime. Do you see? That's the only difference, but it's crazy everywhere. So the time you have now is really as an undergraduate to learn it. Do you know how long you have? You can learn how to speak French fluently between 100 level and 500 level if you took it very seriously. And the reason why you take this thing seriously is if you knew that the audio or the speak French, like if you can just think between you and getting a job in New York immediately after your master's at Harvard is your ability to speak Spanish, you will start to take some other things very seriously. So whether it is language, whether it is coding or a computer skill, whether it is trying to expose yourself, just anything, consuming information, when you start to think about it that way, like start to think about it very seriously, and in fact, and these things is not even in books alone. You can just be somebody who reads a lot, and or maybe even if you want to be a sports analyst, that you consume very quality articles, so that when you talk very knowledgeably about this subject, and people admire you and they want you to do this. Just right packaging. You're already playing to an international audience. Think about Fireboy or anybody like Rema. Like, look at how these guys are, even though they are not this one of them did not even go to university. But like I said, success, the only factor that is evident in every field is excellence. Just be excellent. Even if you want to be a food blogger or you want to just be a YouTube creator, right? Just be excellent. I mean, I'll not be able to take any more questions. I have to go, obviously. But I'm happy. You can, if you have any more questions, just send me a DM. But I'm always very happy to respond to your questions. So guys, I would have to go at this point. I really enjoyed doing this. So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for answering all our questions. The pity that you're not able to answer everything. So if you have any other questions, please ensure you send it to his DM so that you
Yes,
can answer. Please do
I
that.
can
You can
answer.
send it to Twitter too. So please, we'd like to connect with you on all your social media platforms. It would be
Okay.
nice to drop it in the comment section so that we can.
Yes, you can send me on LinkedIn. I mean, it's Oluwaseun Ayanshola on LinkedIn and other places. I think it's oj.ayanshola on Instagram. Then, I mean, just a variant of that on Twitter. On Twitter, it's OJ Ayanshola, sorry, OJ Ayanshola together. I think I already shared my Twitter, and yes, just like that. All right, guys, I think I've got to go.
Thank you so much, sir. We love you so much, sir. Thank
Sure.
you. Have a beautiful
All right,
day.
and yes, I mean, happy birthday, Praise, and I think this is this is a very great initiative, and I commend you for putting this together. So we'll talk after this. Well done.
So I didn't hear
All right.
you.
Yes. Right. Did you hear me?
No, I didn't hear you, sir.
Oh, I was commending Praise for
Okay, sir.
putting this together. And I think this is a very great initiative. And please, you guys should please commend him in the comment section. I think this is very well organized, and please keep this up. Yeah. So if there is, I'll catch up with Praise much later.
Okay, sir.
Well,
Thank you so much, sir.
all right. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye, sir. Okay, so now I'd actually like us to recognize the organizer of this wonderful and innovative and mind-blowing event, the person of Praise Ogunkunle. So let's clap for him, even in the comment section, or just, and that is birthday today. So it's really nice. Yes, I like the energy. Yes, I like it. So I actually like us to wish him a happy birthday because his birthday is today. So let's all wish him a happy birthday. Just tell him that we love him. Let's just shower him with love. So thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for organizing this wonderful. Oh yeah, I'm liking the vibes in the comment section. Yes. Thank you so much. We love you so much, Praise. What do you have to say? Okay, Praise is here. Okay.
All right. Can you hear me? Can
Yes,
you
we can
hear
hear
me?
you loud and clear, sir. We can hear you loud.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Okay. I just want to say thank you to everybody for the willingness to learn. I think that's just it for me. I love the fact that people are willing to learn and then they are willing to um, work on their weaknesses because I believe that lack of information in itself is a weakness. And so I just thank everybody for doing this together with me. I could not have done this myself, but I want to say that I am so grateful. To the team, thank you so much. To the participants, thank you very much for joining. I see us doing greater things in the future.
Okay, thank you so much, Praise, for that. Thank you so much. I know that we all love Praise for this that he does. Thank you so much, sir. So on that note, in the absence of any other thing, I would like to officially close the meeting for today. And to be next to network, yes, very important. Like our last speaker said, networking is very, very important. Group, just meet people. But I'm meeting people as you're going to people's DM, ensure that you do it respectfully and don't just bombard them with a lot of disease. Yeah. So have a wonderful Does anybody want to say anything? Let me unofficially allow anybody to talk. Does anybody want to say anything before we close the meeting? Yeah, thank you, Onyekachi. Mercy, I see you.
Hello,
Okay, someone wants to say
hello.
something. Yes, Angela Oluwa.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you so much for organizing this. Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for organizing it. But for those that missed the initial part of today's session, can a link be sent?
Definitely. There will be a YouTube link will be sent to the group. Actually, the first YouTube link has been sent, so you can always access the first event.
Hello,
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
hello.
Yeah,
Good
I can
evening.
hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, okay. A friend of mine sent me the link to this Zoom meeting, and I've been hearing something like group. Please, if I may ask, how can I be added to this group?
Okay, you know what? Just send your number to Praise. He's going to add you to the group chat. There's actually a group chat for this event. A group chat was created, so just send your number to Praise, and he'll definitely add you up.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Does anybody have any other question, any other clarification, any other thing to say before we unofficially close this meeting? Okay, looks like nobody has. Let me count till 10. Oh no, let's say five. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that brings us to the end of this meeting. Have a good night rest. Bye bye.